So here's something cool that Sportsbox 3 helps us see that 2D video just can't. So we were looking at a player here who's single-digit handicap. He's a competitive club level player. He made tremendous improvements over the last about 12 months. Competing in club championships now where he couldn't in the past. So we were looking at, he came in off-season work. We want to get better with long irons and off the tee. So in other words, longer clubs are getting the low points becoming inconsistent, contact on the face is becoming inconsistent, just can't rely on those clubs. So we started looking at swing, and most things that we worked on over the past 12 months checked out. But we're going to look at a couple markers here that show us something that, again, it's just something that we probably couldn't see with just looking at 2D video. So we're looking at this chest sway. We're also going to look at pelvis sway, but we really were looking at chest sway. So as we play this video, you're going to see he's a rear post golfer, so he likes to load around his trail hip, and then we want to move a little bit laterally into the ball. So a little bit of glide in the golf swing. Now look at what the chest sway is doing. Halfway back, it's actually starting to push towards the target the entire time. So as the clubs push back, it moves about 0.2 of an inch away from target, and pelvis stays fairly centered as well. And the chest, if you watch, that number keeps going more and more and more positive, which means it's moving towards the target during the entire backswing. Now he's squatting in transition. So if we look at top of backswing, and we just throw in shoulder turn here, so 83 degrees of shoulder turn. This is with, I believe it was a 7-iron in hand. It's nowhere near as much as he can get, or where we've been in the past when it comes to just getting behind the ball. He said he couldn't really hit draws anymore. Off the tee, we struggled with draws most of the year. And while it looks like, if we just watch his video up top, it looks like he's staying fairly centered. And, if we look at the pelvis sway, if we had him on a force plate, he would be loading under that trail foot, but he's leaving his upper body right where it is. So he's trying to turn, thinks he's loading under his right leg, but in reality, his chest is actually swayed towards the target. And it keeps moving towards the target, towards the target, towards the target. And eventually, because it just doesn't have much movement in the upper body laterally, he's really struggling with his low point with the long irons. All right, hitting a lot fat. He's got a lot of flexibility and speed. So this is something that we weren't really are now going to look at. Let's just look at the avatar here. So we're just going to look at avatar. And we're going to look at the avatar down here. Okay, so let's take this back to start. So we're going to leave these numbers up. Actually, we're just going to look at chest sway because that's really what we were talking about. And we ended up getting him more behind the ball here. So we're just going to leave up this. Oh, nope, not pelvis sway. We're going to go there on chest sway and chest sway up here. Now, watch what happens. We did some simple pivot drills, different versions of it because we haven't talked too much about the upper body. We've done a lot of lower body work and how to push from right to left, squatting into transition, which has gained him speed and gained him a lot of consistency in the lower irons. And of course, if you're staying centered, your wedges and lower irons are probably going to be a little bit more consistent than your long irons. So let's play this video down below and watch what the chest is doing. So now it wants to stay centered or push towards the target. But because of what we worked on, watch this, as we go towards the top, chest sway there. So a little bit less, but look at the difference in shoulder turn. This is huge in getting behind the ball. And then look at pelvis sway. So his lower body's actually starting to move better in the lower body. So if we look at what his actual swing looks like at top of backswing, I mean, those are two crazy different backswings. So here on the top, he can actually start to load from right to left, have a little bit of lateral movement in his golf swing. All right, we're going to see that going forward. And just some simple drills. Look at that shoulder turn difference. I mean, shoulder turn difference, 84 degrees at top to 111 degrees, and it's not out of posture, is tremendous. All right. So as we're going through transition here, there's about club parallel and club parallel here. So the chest sway is less in the downswing. Pelvis sway starting to move forward. So we watch that pelvis sway. We're loading into the right leg, and then it's a much faster and firmer transition from right foot to left foot. So the pelvis is starting to move more forward. And there's just post-impact and just post-impact here, staying on top of the ball better. Everything about this is just much better. So we look at him down here. All right, staying on top wall, hitting draws. He texted me the next day, actually. This dogleg left par 4 with water that you have to draw the ball around at his home course. And he said he hadn't been able to do that all year, draw the ball in the water. It's been the hardest tee shot for him all year. And all we did was kind of think about the chest getting over the right leg, helping him get more of that shoulder turn, and he was able to draw the ball over the water. This is something that, again, Sportsbox 3D helps us see that 2D video just simply can't see. So instead of staying forward the entire time, he starts moving forward towards the target, but then he gets back. Watch this little negative shift. So I'm now at this bottom video now. I'm just going to look at that chest sway again. So he's starting to move towards the target, towards the target, towards the target. Then all of a sudden, to get more backswing, he starts to load into his right leg. Now we're probably going to see how this chest sway goes 1 inch towards the target. Now all of a sudden it's starting to move away from target. It's not by a lot yet, and there's no lift, which is great. Pelvis loads better, chest loads better. While it's just a small start, this is a great marker for us going through the winter. So we know what we're working on. We know what numbers we're going to look at. And he can send me videos when I'm not with him. And we can just simply throw it on Sportsbox and see if we're getting where we want to be. All right, we want backswings to look like this bottom backswing, not so much this top backswing. All right, this was some great work, and it can only be done because of Sportsbox 3D.